The 10-year Treasury bond yield has been gradually declining since 1988. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the direction that the upper trend line and lower trend line have been taken, and that will be able to give us the ability to project what direction the 10-year Treasury yield will take in the future if the trend is maintained. The Treasury yield is the interest payment that the government pays to borrow money. And I have pointed out the dates where the Treasury yield was at its highest points and where it was at its lowest points. You can see the highest in 94 was 7.91, and then another high point was 3.15 in 2018, and a low point in 1993 was 5.40, and in 2020 we had a low point at 0.55. The difference between the two data points on the upper trend line is a yield difference of 4.76% over a 287-month period of time. Now that's a 0.199% change per year, with the Treasury yield gradually going down for the upper trend line. The difference between the two data points on the lower trend line is 4.88% over a 322-month period. Now the change per year of the trend line going in the downward direction is 0.1818%. This chart is showing the upper trend line and lower trend line of the 10-year Treasury bond yield up until 2050. And you can see in this chart we don't reach a 0% 10-year Treasury yield on the lower trend line until around 2024. And we don't reach a 0% Treasury yield on the upper trend line until 2035. But you can see once we reach 2050, as far as the upper trend line, we're around negative 3% if we continue on the path that we've been on since 1988. According to my calculations, we would be in range of the lower trend line being in the territory of 0% in October of 2023. And you can also see the direction that the upper trend line has been taking. By 2033, the lower trend line is in the range of negative 1.75, and the upper trend line is approaching 0%. This is all assuming that we maintain the trend that we have been on. Currently, the upper trend line is on a trajectory towards being below negative 1% on the 10-year Treasury yield by 2041. And you can also see the lower trend line would have us in range to be below negative 3% on the Treasury yield for the 10-year. Now, that would get us in the range of being somewhere in the negative 2 territory by the year 2041. By 2049, the upper trend line is set to be around negative 3%, and the lower trend line is set to be around negative 4.5%. Since 1988, we've been maintaining a trend that's been fairly consistent, but you can see where the red box is highlighted, it wasn't always maintaining this trend. So it is possible that it may readjust, but these projections are based off how it's been performing since 1988.